Hey everybody, welcome to part three, or the kind of the third part in the uh, world partition, grid, and data layer series. So we're going to go a little bit into how we're going to get the objects to show up on data layers and how we're going to stream the collisions in and out so that we can kind of help improve performance in like high density areas. Um, so let's go ahead and get into it. So to start off first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some extra data layers here. I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate these. I'm just gonna create three duplicates here. Make sure, yep, they're all the same. Set up at runtime. Okay, let's go ahead and save all those. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this, well, not that one, actually. And we're just going to create a couple of extra rooms here. Let's delete this wall. Forgot about these. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Grid, none. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have the grid load our collisions in that actually handle the data layers, and then have the collisions themselves load the data layers in and out. That way, for high density rooms like this, we don't have to worry about the grid loading like all four rooms at once when we only need one room loaded at a time, or maybe one or two. So first, let's go ahead and this up. Let's go ahead and add these layers in. We're going to add these layers in as sub layers to this first one. So if you just pull and drag and drop, it just puts them in. Now, an interesting thing to note with sub layers is it does let you sort things pretty easily. So you could have like one main data layer for like a whole area. And then if you wanted to, you could just put nothing in it. You could use it purely for sorting. Um, or you can put some stuff in it. That's kind of up to you. In my case, I'm actually going to create one more of these, pull it in right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of the actors that are currently in this layer. So let's go, didn't do that. Okay. So the thing about these layers is um, they are a hierarchy. So if you unload or load the main layer, all the sub layers are loaded as well. But you can unload or load the sub layers and have no effect to the higher layer. So how I'm probably going to do this is I'm going to leave this top layer just always open or always loaded in. I'm going to leave it blank, and then I'm going to load things in and out of these four bottom layers just to help keep the data layer area easy to understand. So let's go ahead and first we're going to move all of these objects from this layer into the hidden objects layer 1. So let's see, I believe. Okay, here we go. Okay, put that back in. Let's see. I deselected it. I wasn't paying attention. A second. Okay, so it's 42 to 82. So 42 right there. Go ahead and remove, and then we're going to add them into this one instead. So now they are all in hidden objects layer 1. Yep. So there we go. And deselecting the others has no effect. Okay. And then I'm just going to copy this one. So it's 42. Let's go ahead and actually, let's go ahead and just copy these over here. So we'll make this layer 2. And then we'll make this one layer 3. Or layer 4. Okay, so we got layer 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now what we need to do is I'm gonna move this over slightly. Just for the sake of testing, I'm just gonna remove these walls actually so we can see what's happening more easily. And then we're going to open this up. Factor loading. And the in data layer, it's already instance editable, so that's perfect. Looks like I did that before. So general, yep, here we go, hidden objects layer. So we're gonna change this one now to hidden objects layer 1. We're going to copy and paste this, move this over here, so it covers the whole room. And then we're going to change this to hidden objects layer 2. We're going to move this over here. Going to make this hidden objects layer 3. And move this over here. And make this hidden objects layer 4. Okay, so we got good. There's a gap right there, but that's fine. Normally you'd want to do this probably inside buildings or areas with a confined view. So how you set this up is a little bit up to preference, but you can follow the simple thing I did and just do a giant square if you so desire. I typically prefer that as long as the environment allows it. You can do entrance or exit collisions where it's just like one collision at the entrance and it activates on entry, and then another collision on exit, so it deactivates when you leave. A lot of people prefer to do it that way. It depends on the environment. Some environments it's better that way. Some environments it's better to do it this way. This way is definitely easier. So next, I want to make sure that these lines are visible so that when we're moving in and out, we can see the lines clearly so we know it's working. So I'll remove hidden in game from all of them. Let's go ahead and make the line thickness a little bit bigger, like maybe a 10. There we go. And then, just to make sure all of these are set up right, here, yep, initial runtime state is unloaded, so is initially visible, is initially loaded in the editor. We'll actually uncheck those. It doesn't really affect us here, but okay. And then actually, shouldn't have deselected that. For the actor, the BP actor loading that I have, loading these in and out, we want to go to streaming, double check. Currently we have them on the runtime grid none, which means the engine just defaults it. And then spatially loaded we want checked. I'm actually going to pull these out a bit because I want to be able to like walk in between them and prove that this is working. So we'll leave a gap there so I can walk in between them easier. And we need to make a new runtime grid for specifically these collisions. So let's go ahead and world settings. We've got our grids here. So far we have two. We have the main and then the large actor. Let's go ahead and make a third grid. Open it up here. Let's name this one so detailed actors collision. Go ahead and I'd probably just go ahead and copy and paste that, or copy it. You don't want to write it incorrectly when you go back to the actor loadings. So let's go ahead and decrease this down to like 500 for the cell. Oh no, we can do a little bit larger cell size. And loading range, make it 500. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and make it 1,000 too. That's pretty small as it is. It's not really a good reason to make it smaller than that, unless you're just being picky. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is 2, 1. Zero, 0, 2. Looks like 1600 is the smallest you can make a cell size. Zero, 0, 1. Set the priority on that one to 2. Okay. So we're good there. This is working the same off the main grid. I'm actually going to change the main grid up a bit. Yeah. There's no reason for it to be that small. So save all. 0. And then we'll uncheck that. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and hit play. Oh. I already forgot. So, for the actors themselves down here in runtime grid, go ahead and paste the name, detailed actors collision, or whatever you named it, into each of these, so that it's pulling off the correct partition grid. Okay, so as you can see, that farthest collision does not exist yet. As we go this way, we should eventually, there it goes, so they just pinged in. None of the actors are visible, so they're not using any of our processing. see. Why did that not load in? Did I move these guys over to the right one? Check real quick. Did I move any of them? Let's see, we got 61. It is 42 to 82. Okay, loaded in objects layer 1. That's right. Ah, okay, so the main layer is unloaded. Let's go ahead and change this. So we want this to be loaded. And we want the rest of these to be unloaded. For that, loaded. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Okay. Let's try loaded and activated. Hmm. There you go. So now we've got layer 1. It looks like these other... Oh. Wait. Yeah, okay. So it looks like it might have moved some of these into the other data layers because I was copy and pasting them. Yeah, so it looks like all the follow-ups are being loaded into the previous... Yeah. So this final one should just be in one data layer. Yep. Okay. So yeah, watch out while you're copy and pasting stuff because it looks like it moved all of these objects into multiple data layers. Let's go ahead and do this. So this is 85, and it should go up to like 80, 106. A little bit higher. Be easier just to remove them all at this point. Start over. Okay. 24. So 23 to 86. All right, maybe 85, 4, 3. Okay, so 83. So 23 to 83. Data layers, we want to go ahead and remove these from object layer 1. Looks like they're only in object layer 2 now. Next, we had 124 to 54. No, higher. Yeah. Okay, so 124 to 164. Okay. And remove that from layers 1 and layers 2. And then this final one we're gonna have to remove this from all the layers because I copy and pasted. 165 to 205. Yeah. So remove, remove. Okay, so now this is just an object layer 4. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go again. Okay, so we got 1. So that loaded in, loaded out, in. You can see none of the others are activated, out, in. None of the others are activated, out, and in. None of the others are activated. Okay. So that all works. Again, this is best used for rooms, high density areas where loading stuff directly on the grid might cause slowdowns in very packed environments like offices or even warehouses if they have a ton of stuff crammed into small rooms. That can cause a lot of FPS drop. You can stack them all like that. You can have the collisions load in on the partition grid, and the collisions will disappear like that when you're outside the range, and then they will load back in when you get close. That way, the only performance you're wasting is on the collisions, and it's a pretty big savings in the long run, especially in packed environments. Okay, so that was pretty much all we were going to go over today. That gives you a good basis into grids for the world partition, and then also how data layers work. Data layers can get a lot more in depth from just doing something like this to changing entire environments. Like if you ever watched the Unreal Engine 5 showcase when they first previewed it and they changed the entire environment on a data layer. You can get pretty in depth with these, and it's definitely something you wanna get into and start practicing with yourself. All right, well, thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to post them, and I'll try to take a look at them. Thank you. Hope you guys have a good day.